All right, the surface area for a cylinder. Remember, a cylinder is something that looks like this. It's basically like the three-dimensional shapes we've been dealing with. It's basically like a prism, but it's got circles that kind of make up these sides in some ways, okay? And so when you think about a cylinder, think about the shape of a can, okay? That's what we're talking about here. And this is a little bit different because this side, this thing that kind of wraps around the outside here, okay? As I kind of look at this thing, we can't calculate that surface area very easily just looking at this thing and identifying the shape. If I were to cut this cylinder open and lay it flat, that shape that wraps around would end up being a rectangle, okay? That's kind of hard to see here. So instead of following kind of a format where we just look at the shape of each piece and then find the area of each, we actually have a formula here, okay? And so the formula we're going to use here is 2 pi r squared. And really that represents these circles. This is the top circle and the bottom circle. Well, the top circle, the area of that top circle is pi r squared. And the area of the bottom circle is also pi r squared. So when you see that 2 pi r squared, it's really just the area of the top and the bottom together, okay? And so that's where that piece comes from. This other piece right here, the 2 pi r, that's what we get if we were to find the area of this kind of shape that wraps around this thing, okay? And that's where this formula comes from. For our purposes, we just need to know the formula, okay? So the surface area for a cylinder, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, okay? And so just like before, the radius is that distance that's halfway across the circle. The height of the cylinder is always going to be the value that's connecting the two circles. So for that one, that's this guy right here, that 10, okay? And so if I want the surface area of this thing, surface area equals 2 pi r squared. And r, the radius this time is a 4, plus 2 pi r, which is a 4, times h, the height this time, is going to be a 10. Okay, and this is a job for my calculator. I'm just going to plug it right in. And for our purposes, I'm going to use 3.14 here for pi. You can use the pi button on your calculator, and that's fine. Okay, either one will be accepted here. All right, but I'm just going to use 3.14 because it's a little bit easier. Okay, it might be easier for you to use the pi button, so either one is fine. So I just hit 2 times the 3.14 times the 4 squared plus, and I'm plugging this all into my calculator in one shot, plus the 2 times 3.14 times the 4 times the 10. Okay, and I just hit enter, and it spits out this answer of surface area equaling 351.68, and that's square meters. Okay, so I'm still doing the same thing. I'm just doing it in the format of a formula because it's easier to do that this way. This one is hard to visualize those pieces individually. Okay, so we just divert to a formula instead.